in the States, it's kind of hard to describe. It's racism is kind of like this something that's running just like a subcurrent. It's running under the surface. You can kind of see something's there, but you don't always see that there's something there. You kind of always suspect it. What's going on, guys? It's Ben Wilson with Beardbrand Alliance. Today's video is going to be a little different. I'm going to get a little personal, just in light of kind of what's going on here. I'm going to kind of talk about what my experiences have been as a Black person growing up in America, and then throughout my travels. My parents are both from the West Indies. My dad is from Tobago. He came to the U.S. in the late 60s, and my mom came to the U.S. in the 80s. They're both naturalized citizens. My dad joined the Navy shortly thereafter coming here, and he's been in the Navy for 22 years. I was raised not really to see race, just kind of be the best version of myself. But I was taught to be aware of just some of the challenges that I might face. I remember very early on, my mom telling me that, hey, you're Black and you already have a strike against you. And it wasn't, she said that just so I could be cognizant of the environment that I was operating in. It was never just to be kind of skeptical of what was going on, always skeptical of what's going on, but just to always have that in the back of my mind. And I've always had it in the back of my mind. When I meet people, that's not the first thing that comes to light. It's kind of something that's tucked. So that's a little background on how my parents raised me. And just personally, the race card is never something that I've just went ahead and played. I would kind of look at a situation and from the 10,000 foot view, and just kind of look for clusters. And then as those would add up, I'd say, okay, maybe this certain thing that happened to me, all signs are pointing towards that being that person or that individual being racist. I remember when I was, it was my lunch break. I was in uniform at the time in the Marine Corps, and on the base there was a track. The high school had a track, so sometimes I'd go over to the track and I'd go for a run, do like a sprint workout on the track. So this day in particular, I went over there. I saw one of my friends running around the track. For the purpose of this example, a white guy running around the track. And there were, I think, two coaches on the inner field. There's a football field on the inner portion. There are two coaches and maybe three kids in the middle, kind of working on some drills there. So I did a little warm up. Then I did my first lap, kind of warm up lap around the track, and I'm running, and I see the coach standing on the track. He runs out in the middle of the track and he's waving his arms like this. He's like, "Hey, you can't be out here, man. They're kids. You can't. This is for the school. You're not allowed to be out here and running, and you can't be here." And I was like, "Huh, okay." And I walked away, and those alarms start going off in my head. And I said before, I'm not really, when it comes to these things, I'm not really confrontational. But I started walking to my car, and I was like, you know what? Screw that, right? So I walk back and I tell the coach, I'm like, hey, how come why is it that as soon as I started running around the track, you ran out and said something, but my friend who I approached after I was told to leave, and then he was subsequently pulled off the track. Why is it that he was running on the track for 20 minutes and you didn't say anything to him, but you said something to me when I showed up? Somebody very close to me once said that, hey, Ben, the more you accomplish in life, the more white you become to them. And it's kind of an odd saying, but I didn't really understand it too much at the time. But it's funny. Later in life, I realized what was going on. So basically, let's say I'm sitting at a bar, and this has happened. I can't count on on both of my hands. It's more than I can count on both of my hands the amount of times that this has actually happened. Let's say I'm at a bar, for example, and you're sitting down, you're talking to someone. Topic always comes up: where you from? Did you go to school? Where did you go to school? What are you doing now for a living? It always comes up, and it's funny as I share some of these things with people, just watching them. So the conversation would go like this: hey Ben, where'd you go to school? Oh, I went to Penn State. Oh wow, Penn State, man, that's a really good school. That's wow. Did you go, and people that are familiar with Penn State and from Pennsylvania, they know what I'm about to say. I say, yeah. So did you go to the main campus or the one of the satellite campuses? So it's a little bit, it's more difficult to get into the main campus. So usually you have to spend some 1 or 2 years at the branch campus before you can go to the main campus. So it's, like I said, it's more difficult to go directly and spend all 4 years at the main campus. I said, no, I went to the main campus. I had a full ride scholarship. I went to the main campus. So, oh, wow, that's crazy. Full ride scholarship, man, that's great. From what? Were you playing sports? Was it a sports scholarship? So no, it wasn't a sports scholarship. It was from the Marine Corps. Like, oh, wow, that's amazing, man. Good for you. That is just great. You're in the Marines? I said, yeah. Oh, wow, that's awesome. I said, yeah, I'm a major in the Marines. I'm like, oh wow! I just watched like the demeanor of this person who was, cool and like, not nice enough, to talk to me. But I just watch these people, like their demeanor just changes as I lay out these accomplishments. I don't brag about what I do. I really don't. It's they ask me, I tell them. It's not something it's not information that I just say. Oh yeah, I'm this and this. Look at me. But I kind of saw what this person was telling me about. Like I'm becoming white to them, and the crazy part is, especially for this example, I remember one time specifically, I was at home. I'm from Southeast Pennsylvania. I was at home and sitting in a bar, and this gentleman comes up to me and we start talking, and basically everything I just said about talking to people, my accomplishments, all that starts coming up. And I was watching his face change, his demeanor change, and all this. And then, we were talking for some time, just a good conversation. And then he looks at me, he's like, I really can't stand. And he says the N-word. I'm like, wow. I had become so white to him that he thought it was okay to say that word around me. And he's like, no, I'm not talking about you, man. And, I'm talking about them, like this and that. And I just, I sat there and I just listened to him. I didn't really, I have a really good poker face. So I just kind of sat there and listened to him, not showing any emotion. And it was just, I was just thinking about that advice I received earlier. In the States, it's kind of hard to describe. It's racism is kind of like this something that's running just like a subcurrent. It's running under the surface. You can kind of see something's there, but you don't always see that there's something there. You kind of always suspect it, but I didn't realize how bad things were, because again, it's not something I focus on when I go about my business day to day. I'm focused on, what do I need to get done? What do I need to accomplish? Like, I'm not really sitting there thinking about what other people think of me. And when I moved to Germany, I was here maybe a couple weeks. I went to an organic grocery store, and I'm there, and this German lady comes up to me, and she's like, "Hey, where are you from?" And I said, "I'm from the U.S." And then what she said, like, just shocked me. She's like, "I'm really sorry they're so racist in the U.S." That's what she said to me. And it was, I said, wow. I kind of downplayed. I was like, well, it's not like that everywhere. I kind of downplayed it a little bit, but I was kind of shocked at what she said. And I mean, I didn't really, just because when you're around things constantly, you kind of get a little numb to it. You don't really realize how bad things are. And I mean, I really haven't really experienced any some of the severe stories you hear about the racism people experience out there. But after being here for a couple of years, it really opened my eyes. I said, wow, it really is different. Just because I haven't experienced it to that level out here at all. And it's kind of sad. It's like, wow. I mean, this is kind of what it feels like to be normal and not judged based off of your skin color. I'm not saying it's perfect. It's perfect in Germany, but when it comes to the racism that I've experienced, it doesn't compare to. It's nowhere close to just the kind of feeling, the hovering feeling that you feel, that I felt on a day-to-day basis in the U.S. And I'm not bashing the U.S. at all. I'm not. I'm kind of laying out how it is to be Black, and this is my view, my experiences as a Black person. Maybe others have similar experiences, but I'm not speaking on behalf of all Black people out there. Other people have other experiences, and they can speak on their experiences. This is my experience, and I'm just hopefully hoping to shed some light on what some people might be experiencing out there. So the purpose of this video is just to bring awareness to what it's like being a Black person in America. The purpose is not to gain sympathy. I don't want your sympathy. It's just more so to shed a light on how many of us experience life. If you notice some inequality issues and people not being treated fairly, I just would ask that you bring those issues to light and stand up and say something about it. Bottom line is, we need to treat each other as brothers. I meet somebody on the street, that's regardless of race, that's my brother, and you should treat them with respect and dignity. And that's the bottom line. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. Hope you enjoyed the video. And I will talk to you guys later. Thanks.